All right, today we're going to be talking about insourcing versus outsourcing. We're going to give you some explanations, some examples, a few tips on when I decide to outsource, and I'm also going to give you a calculator that I use to determine when is the right time and what are the right projects to outsource. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Mike Mancini, helping you market, simplify, and impact your business. Today we're talking about insourcing versus outsourcing. Insourcing essentially is keeping the task in-house. You're essentially choosing to keep it inside your business and do it yourself or have one of your employees do it. Outsourcing is obviously going outside of your organization. Some large companies will choose to outsource to other companies or individuals or freelancers. Same thing with small companies like myself. I choose to outsource to virtual assistants or other people that can do the specific tasks I'm looking for. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give you some outsourcing examples of tasks that I personally outsource in my business and how I figure out what I'm going to outsource when I'm going to outsource it. And I've got a great little calculator that you can have too. Stay till the end of the video and I'll show you how to get this, because not only does a calculator help you figure out what tasks to outsource first, but it gives you the value of how much time you are spending in that task as well as how much that time is costing you. So stay tuned for that. So when I look to outsource, the number one thing that I do when I decide I need to outsource something is if I have to use the word every. So every day I do this. Every time I get a new client, I need to do this. Every time I need to onboard a client, I need to do this. Those are tasks that I tend to try to steer towards outsourcing. It's a task that I'm doing all the time, and it's a task that I should probably look at possibly outsourcing if it's something that I can train someone on how to do. The second task I will outsource is if I hate to do something. And think about that. If you hate to do something, chances are you might be putting that task off, when you could actually be outsourcing that task to someone else who maybe enjoys to do it and probably does it better than you do. So if I hate to do something, that's probably another time I'm going to look at outsourcing a task. And number three, I start small and slowly to outsource till I get the hang of it. And here's how I do that. All right, right here, I have my outsourcing task template. So I'm going to enter a task. I'm going to enter in just a few here so you understand what I'm talking about, and then I'm going to fill it in quickly. So first, every day I process payments and refunds that I get from clients. Is that something that I want to do? No. So I don't really want to do it. So I'll put a number or a check mark here or whatever it might be. Is that something I like to do? Not really. So I kind of hate it. Should I be doing that? As a business owner, I should not be processing payments and refunds. That's something I can give to an outsourcer. That's a very simple project. It's a matter of recording them in whatever software that I need to do it in. So should I be doing that as the business owner? Absolutely not. So I shouldn't be. Am I good at it or am I not good at it? That really doesn't apply to this because it's a matter of just recording it. So I'm just going to say not good at it. As you can see, it totals up a column here of 4. Next, selling new accounts. Is that something that I want to do? Absolutely, as that's actually one of the parts of my job that I absolutely love to do. So I do want to do it. Do I like it? Yes. Should I be doing that? I could probably outsource it, but right now at this point in time, I prefer to do it because I think I'm better at it than pretty much anybody that I would hire right now without a lot of training. So, and it's also a huge income generator for my organization. So I probably should be doing that right now. Am I good at it? I actually really am good at it. And so I want to keep doing it and because I like doing it. So as you can see, everything was tallied up here. That's 0 because we're only tallying things that are in the don't want, I hate, I shouldn't be, or not good at. Now let's go through one more quickly and then I'll auto-populate this so you get a better idea. Another one is building new campaigns. When I sell a new campaign, do I want to do it? Not really. I don't want to do it. I'd rather be selling versus always building. So I don't want to do that. I don't really like doing it because it's pretty monotonous work and it takes away from the rest of my day. I probably shouldn't be doing that. My time is better suited selling. Am I good at it? Yeah, I've been doing it for, 10 years, 15 years. So yeah, I am pretty good at it. As you can see, the total here is 3. So I'm going to paste in a bunch here so you get a better idea of what's happening. So here we have some other things like setting up conversion tracking, accounts receivable, creating videos, editing, creating video thumbnails. These are a bunch of tasks that I do all the time. So I put these in my task list and I totaled them up. Now you can see right here, I've got a total of 4. Another one here, which is accounts receivable. That's a 4. Another one here, creating video thumbnails. I know how to do it. I don't like to do it. I don't want to do it. I shouldn't be doing that. You can see all these are number 4s. The ones with the biggest tallies are the ones I'm going to outsource first. Does it matter what order I do these in? Probably not. But I am going to show you a calculator that will show you how much money you're wasting in each one of these tasks. All right, so this is a calculator that I've used to determine where I'm spending the most money to help me figure out what I should outsource first. Now you can see it pulls in processing payments and refunds. On average, I spend about 10 minutes a day doing that. So I'll put 10 minutes in there and I perform that task 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. Now you can see it figures out how many hours per year I'm spending doing that task. Now, how we figure out how much that's costing me is, let's just say my salary per year is $100,000. Enter in $100,000 there, which ends up being about $50 an hour if you take into account vacation time and an average 40-hour work week. So it's about 2,000 hours a year. But what that task ends up costing me is $2,166 a year. I'm essentially paying myself to do this task, and I'm spending over a week a year doing it. Now, can I outsource that? Absolutely. How do I know this? Because I personally do this. I outsource this to my virtual assistant. So I'm going to enter $5 an hour here. That total cost for me to outsource that for the entire year ends up being $216 versus the $2,100 I would have to pay myself. That saves me about $1,900 in time. Is that something that you want to outsource? Maybe something you should look at. Let's go through a couple more, and then I'll auto-populate this with all of my tasks again. All right, so selling new accounts, I spend about 5 times a week doing this. It's about 30 minutes. Cost of my time ends up being about $6,500 a year. Now, would I have to pay to a good salesperson to do that? Probably about $50 an hour. So that would kind of be a wash. Now, building new campaigns. I spend about 120 minutes doing this twice a week. You can see all the time and hours that adds up to be. Now, my cost to outsource that actually cost me $12 an hour. Look at how much money I end up saving by outsourcing that. Now, let's take the selling because I'm going to do that myself. So building new campaigns and processing payments and refunds. If I'm to outsource that alone, I have saved myself 251 hours, which essentially is 31 working days. That's over a month of my time, as well as I would save myself almost $10,000. Now that's a number that I'm going to take to heart. Now here's what it looks like with a bunch of my tasks put into the calculator. As you can see, it costs me $122,000 if I'm to pay myself $50 an hour, but I could save myself $80,000 by outsourcing these tasks. So I could essentially spend $42,000 outsourcing all of these tasks and come out $80,000 ahead. And I want you to take a look at one thing. Right here, there's 2,448 hours. Remember I talked about 2,000 hours being the average number of hours worked per year? If you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, you get about 2,000 hours. Right here, I've already worked more than 2,000 hours. I've worked almost 2,500 hours just doing day-to-day type of tasks. Am I better suited to be working on the business, doing high-level marketing stuff, getting new clients, landing deals versus doing this stuff? Absolutely. So where do I outsource? Where do I find workers? So when I'm looking to outsource my tasks, one of the first places I will start is I will go to Fiverr. You can go up here, you can find any services that you're looking for. So maybe it's just a YouTube thumbnail. You can enter that in there and you can find all of these people starting at $5 an hour or $5 a thumbnail to outsource that task. That might be a simple way to go about it. The next place I go is I go to Upwork. Now, for instance, I've hired a couple of assistants on Upwork. I go to this platform all the time to hire people, and I get very specific on what I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for a video editor, I might type that in. Now, one of the most important things about Upwork is this button right here. It says US only. As you can see, there are a lot of people in the US, $65 an hour, $50 an hour, $48. If you don't have that kind of money, or you want to find somebody cheaper, you can also click this and go to off, which is going to pull people worldwide. Then you can search by freelancers or agencies. You can search by hourly rate. So maybe you want to go $10 or below. And you can see you can modify your search by that. The other thing that I will take a look at is I like to go under job success. I will typically only hire people with a 95% or higher rating, but that's another way to filter people out. And the last place I go to hire is I go to onlinejobs.ph. This is another freelance website. It is for workers in the Philippines. Now, why the Philippines? There are a couple of different reasons. One is they have stable internet connections over there. And if we're doing large things like video work, those tend to be big files. So you do need a solid internet connection. Number two would be the language barrier. There really isn't much of a language barrier between the Philippines and the United States. Number three is loyalty and professionalism. The Philippine workers that I've worked with in my company have been, number one, extremely loyal. Number two, they work hard. I've never had a problem with professionalism or with communication. I'm very, very specific in how I set my job descriptions and the task that I want done. So I don't have to have a lot of back and forth. I like the fact that even in the Philippines with the time difference, I give out tasks and at the end of the day, and then when I come in the next morning, typically those tasks are done. So I can't say enough about the people I've worked with in the Philippines. So what kind of task would you outsource? Do me a favor, leave me that down in the comments below. I'd love to see the different types of things that you would love to take off your plate and have somebody else doing if you can afford to do so. As I mentioned before, if you want a copy of this calculator and task list, down below in the description area, you will see a link to get that. And yes, you can get it for free. Now, I created this outsourcing list or task and calculator sheet for myself in my business, but I have shared this with our mastermind group. Now, our mastermind group is a group of small business owners who get together on a weekly basis to determine what's working for them, what's not, where are they having troubles, things like how do you know when it's time to outsource? How do you do it? And we share all these tips and tricks. And if that's something you're interested in, please check us out at impactmastermindgroup.com. I will put a link in the video description below. And as always, if you like this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn the little bell icon on so you'll be notified of when we release new videos each and every week. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see some other great tools that we use inside our business, over to the right-hand side, you'll see a couple of those. All right, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.